What's old is new again. The Istanbul Archaeology Museum has undergone a significant restoration, having been worn out over the years.
Bu çalışmanın uzun sürdüğü konusunda
I understand that our visitors and the public are disgruntled by the length of this process, but the renovation did not just include the displays. The building was reinforced against any risks of damage caused by earthquakes, and all the inner walls were fortified with steel constructions. This construction took about 8 years, and we had the last year to organize and display the main exhibition, displaying the artifacts that actually were the reason for the opening of this museum in the first place.
The museum is a collection of artifacts of Anatolian civilizations over the ages. One of the best-known artifacts inside is the Alexander sarcophagus, once believed to be prepared for Alexander the Great. It's also home to the sarcophagus of the mourning women.
çok net bir şekilde bu müzenin en önemli...
If you ask me what the most important artifact in this museum is, I can say that it is, of course, the Alexander sarcophagus. It was named that because it depicts Alexander the Great, but it actually belonged to a Sidon king. The sculptor is unfortunately unknown, but it is undoubtedly a very unique piece. We are lucky to have it.
Bir örneği daha.
Impressed by archaeological museums he saw in London, Paris, and Vienna in 1867, Ottoman Sultan Abdulaziz ordered a similar archaeological museum to be built here in Istanbul. After a failed first attempt due to budget constraints, it eventually opened its doors in 1891 under the guidance of its first curator and founder, Osman Hamdi Bey.
Yani 1726 aslında.
The initial artifacts that comprised the first museum were first collected at the Ayya Areen Church at the Topkapi Palace courtyard during the reign of Ahmed III in 1726. In 1848, Fethi Ahmed Pasha establishes a military museum from this collection, and then it was moved to the Tilled Pavilion in 1881, and Osman Hamdi Bey became the first manager of the museum. He laid the foundations of modern museums in Turkey, aimed at regulating the archaeological excavations in the empire and prevented smuggling of artifacts abroad.
The main building is considered to be one of Istanbul's most prominent structures built in the neoclassical style. Just one of many reasons the director believes the museum is a must-see.
Müzemizin aslında
Our museum actually holds a very important collection of about 1 million artifacts that everyone needs to see, and we track the history of humanity starting 600,000 years ago up until the Turkish Republic era.
While the main building of the Archaeological Museum has reopened, the other two buildings of the trio, the Museum of the Ancient Orient and the Museum of Islamic Art, will reopen next year. Aadel Haleem, TRT World, Istanbul.